Hey, Fred, it's Shamara and Friends. It's Sunday afternoon conversations. Big ups to my sister girls out here. Hi, girls. Hey! You know, I was thinking if men can have barbershop talk, or if you got somebody like LeBron doing shop talk, we can have backyard talk. So big ups to our host, Stephanie Jacobs here. We're in Columbia, South Carolina. Single. I'm single. Who else is single here?
Yay! Single.
Well, who's married and think they single here?
Oh, no.
You can't see her, but she is. So I'm probably the single friend that has a lot of married friends or friends that are attached. That's always looking like I'm the clueless child. Like, how do I get into a relationship? How can I have a guy pay me attention for like 10 minutes? Because all I do is run my mouth for a living, you know? So I generally like to look at my old heads, Stephanie, particularly. Not so much Kara, because she's just a sneaky friend that looks to the side of you like, you ain't got no business touching that stove, but I'm gonna let you touch it and burn yourself. Anyway, I've always said to myself, like, how am I supposed to determine what a man is supposed to be for me, and vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. When I had no blueprint for it. So, which is why I'm always looking to you, like, well, dang, Steph, what kind of dude I deserve? Because the last one told me, like, if we're gonna be together, you have to stop doing this, and you like, you have relationships with how do you say it? Conditions.
Yeah, under conditions.
And then you have relationships that are unconditional. So you want people in your life that are unconditionally in your life for no reason at all, that are going to be right there with you and ride or die. Yeah. Not tell you, like, no matter what.
No matter what.
So Stephanie always says to me, ladies, no man can put up with you that's your age or older, because why don't I know that?
You just be on 10.
On 10?
You be on 10.
What does that even mean?
I mean, you just be amped up a lot. I mean, it's the time and the place for amp.
What do you? Yeah. And what? Okay, so all right, you're married. How long have you and Dwight been together?
We've been together a total of 30 years, but we celebrated 7 years of marriage.
Congratulations! Yes, I want somebody to pay me attention for 7 months.
Yes.
So, Kara, you're single, right? What are you?
Divorced.
Okay. All right, so let me ask you a question. Do you have a hard time meeting men and keeping their attention? This is her hair, by the way, everybody. This is her hair.
Yay.
It's the going without conditions that is the
so
issue.
We're all on the same page.
You can find somebody with conditions, but it's find somebody with the unconditional. I use the term in spite of.
Hillary,
there you go. In spite of who you are, in spite of who you should be, in spite of who you inspire to be, and in spite of who you're not.
Wait. Why she say and who you're not?
Yeah.
So okay, so I thought I was the only person that went through this. And you said I'm always on 10, so I'm thinking it's because I've always been a person that displays every emotion I'm going through on my face, my everything, right? So when I'm in a relationship, that on 10 goes probably to 100.
Right.
Real quick. Hillary, single. Conditions?
I think it's some men, even with her saying you're on 10, I think
you're on 10.
You're and it's intimidating. It's intimidating, and it's so unfortunate because we're really good people.
Yeah.
But
men can't receive that.
But sometimes it's the deliverance, because I know I have to work on my deliverance, even in my marriage, you know, and I'll find myself, instead of talking to my husband, I talk at my husband. When I know I'm doing it, because he'll give me a look and he'll say, I don't need you to tell me what to do. It's like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm really just saying, it's your deliverance. Sometimes you have to soften it up a little, or sometimes you have to whine a little, or sometimes you have to say it in like a, hey love, can you this, instead of, can you just go over there and get this and do? Yeah,
I missed that class.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Real quick, Sonia, ladies, what about you?
Well, again, that's where that tug of war comes in, like his song. Because we are who we are, and they are who they are. And so we don't want to change. They don't want to change, right? But you have to learn how to compromise in order to get to that middle area, like the tug of war, because no one wins. We both want to win, right?
Yes.
And so we have to give a little of ourselves. The part that we love about ourselves, we might have to give it up just for the relationship.
That's the problem. Oh my God.
That's the problem right there. So
I'm
ready
ready
to give
up a piece of what I love about me for somebody else to love me.
I need a drink.
I believe that.
I can believe that. So I'm gonna interject. I don't think you should have to give up a piece of yourself, because I always feel like you should be authentic yourself, because the reason why that person wanted to be with you is because
of you, right?
But I do think that you have to understand that some of the things that make you you might not be the good parts of you, it might be a bad part of you. You have to realize internally that I got an attitude. So when I talk to him, I have to realize I'm hot. Hey, babe, I can't talk to you right now. Can you give me 5 minutes so I can understand my feelings? And then let's talk.
That part.
This part from the quiet person who didn't want to admit on camera that she was married. Okay,
so in the tug of war part, I guess it would be more like the little ribbon that sits in the middle. So you don't ever want it to tug more here, or you want it to just kind of dangle.
Right. Well, can I ask a question now?
Just dangle.
Well, who wins in a tug of war? Because now it's like we want it right. We want it. No. But in the tug of war, like if okay, like you said, my husband might sometimes think I'm talking at him, and maybe it's about delivery. But if you have a strong personality, it's always like I'm usually passionate about everything that comes out of my mouth, especially if I have a certain tone or inflection to my voice. You know what I mean? Right. So dude might be like, "Oh, you coming at me?" No, I'm not. I'm just passionate about where I'm standing here. So we're talking about a tug of war. Somebody has to lose. Like somebody has to.
No, it dangles in the middle.
It just dangles.
It dangles because your deliverance.
So you both are pulling. Yeah. So that's where I got it. Speaking of balance, ladies, I'm really glad that you guys are with me today. Even the quiet ones in the back. We're gonna call that the peanut gallery. Okay, so Fred Reed music. Got from the tri-state area. I grew up in Philadelphia area. You guys all know that. My grandfather belonged to a music group. Stars of Wonder, I believe. Back when I was a kid, my uncle was a DJ. I used to work at a record store. Who remember record stores? Yes. So I've always been in love with the idea of being on that microphone, having so much power, but it's still like the music. Music always spoke to my soul. You know, an old school basement party, the red, blue light. I wasn't old enough for him, but God, I heard the music. So Fred Reed comes on the scene, right? A person who has opened up, worked with God, Mary J. Blige, I believe, like Little Birds off the top of my head. He has a song called Tug of War. Yeah. And I'm listening to it, and it's always great for me to hear like a man's perspective of how a relationship should be. Right. Because it shows you, or you hear the vulnerability of that artist, especially when he's a songwriter, a producer, somebody that's really putting his hand. And if you come from a gospel background, ladies, we all got to say, we started off sitting, right? And then say, you know what, Lord, break me. Yeah. And then once the Lord broke you, like, oh, I'm going to just take my pen and paper and create some music for the world and speak through that. Guys, welcome Fred Reed. Fred, are you there?
Hello, I'm here. How y'all doing? Cheers.
Cheers. So listen, I'm Shamara. Let's go.
Hi, Shamara.
Hello, Kira. This is Shamara and friends. I'm not going to talk to the peanut gallery back there. Those are quiet friends who are usually the sneaky friends. But I got to say this. You have a project that you're working on, right?
Yes.
I'm excited. A song, the single, Tug of War.
Yes.
We were all listening to that song, and we were all talking about relationships. And not all of us per se, but I'm usually more vulnerable with like Stephanie opening up and having a conversation. Even if her husband Dwight was here, right? But we're having girl talk today. He would say, well, Shamar, your problem is, no, you need to do this, that, third. I'm like, well, what's wrong with how I am? So I like the vulnerability of the fact that you can put pen to paper and say, listen, babe, what's the problem? What's wrong? Stephanie always asks the perfect question. What was the question about relationships?
So, like in your song, you're like expressing your deep feelings because it sounds like it's over with. And so you're going through. So our question was always, what is going through a man's mind when your girl says, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we're done.
Bye.
Well,
what is going on in your head?
I only can speak from Fred Reed music. It's a million men out here. But for me, if I truly love that woman, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it and find out, what part am I playing? What am I doing wrong? I think communication is very key. Finding out, getting to the core of the problem. And, I think one of the biggest things in relationships is that we have to be able to talk to each other and be able to accept whatever we get ready to say as well. So sometimes, us as men, we judge, a lot of times before we even get it out of our mouths. And a lot of times we just got to listen. Let's hear it out first and not premeditate it, but hear exactly what that man is saying before we even respond. Sometimes we don't listen and we already got an answer and then haven't even heard the whole conversation.
So my question is, you said something off the bat. You said basically like, who's going to buckle down? A man, I feel like he always wants to like, I'm a man. You're supposed to listen to me. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that, right? But what happens when I'm vocal and I have an opinion? So that's why I appreciate something like Tug of War. You're being vulnerable about that, right?
Right.
At what point did you realize that you had to open up and be vulnerable? You know, like when did you say, all right, so I'm tired of being a tough guy in a room?
Yeah. I mean, for one of the things, you know, as a man, you know, we have to be honest about, you know, the mistakes that we make. We all made. I think I heard somebody say they was in a relationship for 30 years. I'm sure it wasn't all peaches and cream for 30 years. You know, you had to build on it. You know, you have to be honest and be able to open up. You know, if I did something wrong, then I gotta be man enough to admit it. Say, look, this is what I did. I messed up. This is why I did it. You know, and if she don't accept that, then I guess we're gonna have to keep on moving on.
But you know, Fred, when you say that, my whole thing is for men, you guys have to keep it about the fight. Sometimes some men hit below the belt, you know, and now the fight is about something totally different. That's that part there is keeping it about what we're talking about. Keep it about the fight.
I agree. I agree 100% with that, because there's times that, you know, when I've been wrong, and then the first thing I'm ready to do is find whatever she did and say, look, nah, we end up focusing on.
How cheap is that though? How cheap? It's like, okay, so you said a man will basically straighten up for the right one, right?
Because it's always that if I love,
if
I care,
that if then clause with
if it's in them to straighten up, yes.
With conditions. We're back to that.
Right.
So back to Tug of War. You're telling her, I'm tired of playing this game. Like, what are we doing? Like, here's my cards. Here are your cards. What game are we gonna play? We gonna play the game of life, or you just gonna play all day? Like, what's going on? Like, what did I do?
And that was my last question at the end of the hook. You know, tell me what's it gonna be. You know, I'm letting her know. I'm letting her know I'm in this thing for the long haul. I'm ready to make this work, but I can't choose for you. You know, it can't be one-sided. It can't be one-sided. It got to be both. You know, want to make it work.
So, which is, I guess that brings us to Love Sided, right? The project that you're working on now.
Yes, the single off Tug of War is one of the singles off Love Sided. I call it Love Sided because it's almost like being blindsided. You know, sometimes we don't know we're gonna get in a relationship. You know, I mean, I talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the cheating. You know, I mean, I talk about, you know, the good, the loving part. I talk about everything that affects, you know, a relationship. You know, people that had, you know, babies inside of their relationship. So I talk about. I touch bases on, you know, everything. Having your cake and eat it too. You know, all those things.
Good stuff. Yes.
Sugar ready iced tea.
There you go.
And
from the, like I say, from the Rudy to the Tootie, y'all from the South, so. But yeah, I just think that you got to be transparent and be able to talk. And I think it's important in this day and time that we start hearing, you know, music that means something and that can touch people. And I think, you know, my music and my songs touch the lives of, you know, most people and the things that they go through. Hopefully they find an answer in it.
So is your music based on a lot of past relationships that you've encountered?
I can say this. I've been in one relationship, right? And I have 9 children. I have 5 boys and 4 girls by one woman.
Can we talk about one woman? I'm a drink to that because I'm about to ask how much gospel you owe. Hell.
Be fruitful and multiply.
By one. Yeah, this 5 boys and 4 girls. Yeah.
So why y'all not married? Are y'all married?
I am.
Are you married?
Oh, you are married.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been married since 1998.
Wow.
And the reason why I'm able to talk about Love Sided, because for us to still be together at this time, you know, there were things that went on, you know, in our relationship, you know, and this from a man's perspective, you know, I love music and this is my way of telling my story.
Yes.
Right. Wow. So
and
you know, and I think it's important. I think it's important, you know, to teach, you know, because most people are afraid of marriage nowadays. Most people, you know, in the younger generation, they don't want to hear nothing about no marriage. So
older too.
Because there's so many horror stories. So, you know.
Older
so Fred, I think you're doing an awesome job, and I think you should really take on that platform because we don't have a lot of men who have a past that can now say what I call the once upon a time, happily ever after. That's what I live right now. Because if you notice in a fairy tale, the once upon a time, and then it's all this bad stuff. And then at the end, what does it say? They lived happily ever after. So that's the fairy tale.
Wow.
That's my life. That was my relationship life. I am now with my forever and my happily ever after, but it's work.
Wow. Congratulations to that.
Yeah.
Right, that's right.
And congratulations again for being married with 9 kids by one baby mama.
Yeah.
And check this out. I'm the youngest of 9.
Wow! Cheers to that too. So, on a musical aspect, Fred. By the way, friend, again, it's Shamara and Friends. We're having Sunday conversations. Our host Stephanie Jacobs in our backyard. We're in Columbia, South Carolina. From a musical aspect, what was it like? Because music has changed so much. You know, you can't get a song on the radio over, man. Let's say like 3 minutes tops. Let's literally say that people are going to pay attention to, and it got to be like the meat and potatoes. We don't want no sides to it, right? What was it like? Like, hey, I'm about to touch the stage with like the Leverts off the top of my head. I'm thinking like with Mary J. Blige. I'm about to do production with Scott Storch. You know, I'm about to take it back and bring it forward all over again. Like, what was that like to see all of that time go by, you know, and see this genre change and all that stuff? Because I feel like you have what I would call like a classic sound, you know, even with the tequila.
Right. I mean to really get into it and answer it. One of the things that I do, you know, I run a nonprofit here called Reach Refuge Center, and I work with a lot of children, maybe almost 400 children a day. And I come from the urban community, the projects, and music saved my life. So I figure, you know, music is shaping society right now. A lot of the guns, the murders, different things is coming through the music. So I created a place where children can come and express themselves and not have to talk about murder and guns and, you know, change the lyrical content. So I got back into music, and this was a way of me earning money, and I can pour back into my nonprofit for kids can come here for free. So I cater to a lot of urban community kids, you know, all
So, Fred Reed Music again, Shamara and Friends, Sunday Conversations. Stephanie Jacobs is our host today. I think that's super great. The give back, you know, the Fred Reed Refuge Center for like kids who are. I grew up in a single parent household, you know what I mean? So that's why once I listened to Tug of War, you know, and I saw the video and you like trying to talk to your girl, I'm like, he's been through some things, you know what I mean? So what's next for Fred Reed? You know, you got the music, you do the pen and paper, you got the production, you got all that stuff that, let's say, somebody who's trying to think about getting into the game is doing, you know? You're still giving back. And I think that y'all got to help me with the Bible verses. You're supposed to, you're blessed when you help me.
Group.
You mean too much is given, much is required.
You reap what you sow.
Yes. Say it again.
That's a daily blessing, especially in the music business, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Too much is given, much is required.
No question about that.
So I think out of everything that you've done, again, Love Sided, right? Is next.
Yes.
Tug of War. We on that. But we got Love Sided. I think you reached a pinnacle once you start to be able to give back to your community. You know, what's next for a Fred Reed and his music? Like, what's next? Are you here to say, like, I'm not where I want to be at musically, but guess what? I'm here and I'm going to have longevity because say it again,
Too much is given, much is required.
There you go.
Right. I agree 100% with what you just said. You know, I don't believe I reached where I would like to reach, you know, in music. But at the same time, you know, as long as I'm seeing kids smiling and seeing kids' lives are being changed, you know, that's my biggest accomplishment, you know, here on earth, you know, creating a legacy. And when I leave here, they say that man fought and did whatever he could to change his community and his people. So that's huge for me.
Yeah, and that's a daily walk. You know?
Absolutely.
That's a daily walk.
Absolutely.
That's a daily walk. Yeah.
So your project, and musically, like I said, and then you piggybacked off of it, like you're not where you want to be musically, right?
Right.
And we know that to keep today's attention span in terms of radio, you can't have a long song. Like we can't have the deal, 2 occasions. We can't have that 5, whatever. You know what I mean? You gotta get to the point. We need meat and potatoes.
Straight to the meat.
How is Fred going to persevere and push through all this this, let's say, commercial help me.
Yeah.
Y'all know I'm missing it too.
Yeah.
Help me.
Commercialized.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we gonna push through all this mainstream crap to actually say, you know what? No, I deserve to be here. I deserve to be that. I need my stuff played right here. Mary J. Blige said something to me once. I said, when she had done the London sessions, right? And she was talking about radio and music. When I worked in Philadelphia, I worked at a hip hop station. And to come here and I'm working at a station like, you're from Delaware, like WGAS, an adult contemporary or urban AC station, right? And she's always said, like, I had a hard time getting my music played on these urban stations. So the young, 18 to 34, let's say, right? And then you have, I forget, to 54. And I've never been in this business because I knew numbers and all that. It's always been about my passion. She said, basically to me, like, who are you to tell me where I belong when I'm still relevant? You know what I mean?
Wow.
And that resonated with me because I was like, because people say to me all the time, like, Chai, you sure you need to be paying OJs or whatever y'all playing? I was like, I probably need to be playing, But I get in where I fit in, so to say. And back to what Mary said, who are you to tell me where I can and cannot be played because I'm still relevant?
That's right.
How is Fred Reed going to or keep his relevancy, like, let's say 10 years from now, aside from the give back, aside from, you know what I mean?
Right. Just the pure passion, being able to love what I do, as long as I know that I'm putting out, what I know, my best, my best foot forward, I'm putting 100% in, I'm satisfied as long as I'm putting out what I need to do, and like I said, perseverance and passion, those are my two words that I live off of.
Positive lyrics, passionate lyrics. Yeah.
It is, because if you think about the artists today, a lot of them come out, they drop a song, you don't hear from them no more
at all.
But we can pull up Stevie Wonder from 15, 20 years ago, and the song still sound like it was new. Sweet and simple. I can speak short and kind, these 3 words, yes. See, those type of things, they hit the heart. That'll never change. That'll never change. So I can't wait to come to Columbia, do a concert down there. I can't wait.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, listen, the preacher's wife got a question. So we gonna listen.
Sure.
We're trying to help Shamara through this time. What song on your CD does she need to be listening?
Yes, her go-to.
Why? What she need help on?
Everything. All of it.
All of it. Honestly, it's several songs on there. One of my favorite I'll be following up will be called Seasons. Seasons will be next.
That might be the one.
You need that whole album.
She needs the whole album. Okay.
She needs somebody to match her energy.
You got that part
there.
That part.
You mentioned Season, and prior to actually, because I knew we got to wrap this up. Prior to like pulling you up, we were talking about the deal, 2 occasions, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you said you need to listen to Season, so maybe that's something I should listen to. So again, Fred Reed music, Love Sided, Tug of War, philanthropy. You give back. They don't know.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like the fact that let's call you Nino Brown of this music, Sugar AC.
Thank you so much, Shamara. Thank you, Stephanie, for even helping out on this, and all the ladies back there. Looking forward to coming to your city real soon. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.
All right.
Wait.
Are you gonna leave us?
Hey, you gotta sing us out here.
You gotta.
I mean, we know you're married with the same baby mama. You like got 9 kids.
Okay.
We gotta
She
sing
know I
some
sing.
orgasm real quick.
How you think she got those 9 kids?
Singing.
But I just heard you say something. Every time I close my eyes, I think of you, baby. And no matter what the season is, I still love you with all my heart. I wanna be with you wherever you are, baby. Ooh, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a 5 heartbeat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shamara. See you, Steph.
All right.
I can't lie, bro. A lot going on. You know what I mean? I'm finding myself writing this tug of war song, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, keep your boy, you know, on your mind, man. Say a prayer for it.
You know I got you, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
You know it's gonna work out for you good. You know that, right?
Right, man. Thanks,
all right.
man.
All right, bro.
All right, man. See you at next rehearsal.
Okay.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.
I'm feeling all these mixed emotions, baby. Seems like you're so distant lately. It's driving me crazy, thinking I'm losing my baby. Just let me know if I hurt you, 'cause I would never hurt you. Just tell me the truth, I need to hear from you. Just tell me what to do. I don't wanna play no games no more. I'm tired of playing sucker. My baby, next minute you hate me. Girl, I keep pushing me away. We're on again, then off again. Seems like where we're going is where we've been. But this love is real, not a cheap thrill or just for feels. But girl, you're still second guessing, asking questions instead of trusting this relationship. But you say yes.